Well, hello, everybody. This is your ghost host, your ShadowZone host, Brian James. And happy hump day, everybody, for it is Wednesday night, 7 p.m. And fellow ShadowZonians, it is time for ShadowZone. So tonight, we have got a good show tonight. We have got Brandon from the Light Within Paranormal here with us tonight. And Emmy McKenzie. Hello, everyone. Hello, Emmy. Parapost Network says, have a good show, guys. Well, thank you, Parapost. And thank you also for letting us air the ShadowZone podcast on your Facebook page. Really appreciate it, buddy. So before we get started, guys, of course, I have to do my usual. ShadowZone Paranormal and Global United Paranormal Foundation is sponsored by Ghost Energy Drink. If you're a paranormal investigator and you're in an investigation and you're worn out and tired, grab yourself a Ghost Energy Drink and bring your spiritual and physical energy right on up. And one more thing, guys. If you guys are tired of all the crap that you're catching on Facebook for being a paranormal investigator, I have the ultimate solution for you guys. I want you to go to your Google Play Store and download the Parapost Network. Now, what the Parapost Network will look like is you'll look for a little ghost just like this. This is Para. She's cute, ain't she? Now, Parapost will work on Android, Apple, iOS. You can download it on tablets, laptops, and computers, and it's free. So Parapost Network is geared towards nothing but the paranormal. And also, there's no drama. It is a beautiful platform. You can link your YouTube account to Parapost. You can share videos. You can be around like-minded people like ourselves. It's a Facebook meets YouTube. And it's just phenomenal, guys. And hey, if you don't want the app, or you can't download any apps on your computer, then all you got to do is go to parapost.net. Travis Esperanza, hey, Travis, it's the Italian. Love you, brother. So, normally I have a co-host to mess with, but I don't know why Cassidy Lightwing nor Eldon McInville or Adam Lorap or Richard Guthrie have not joined us tonight. And I really don't feel like picking on myself because, well, you guys aren't going to find it very much fun or funny. I'll get a kick out of it, but hey, I talk to myself on a general basis anyways. Let's see if we can catch Brandon here doing something embarrassing. Come on, Brandon, give me a nose pick or something, buddy. Come on. Oh, wait. I think we got him. Oh, we nailed it. What is up, Brandon?
What's going on, Brian? How's it going?
Oh, man, it is a fantastic Wednesday night. I can't complain. How about you, brother?
Oh, it's going great. Really great, actually. Just sitting back, relaxing, doing the whole entire show.
Well, you got 2 jobs tonight, sir.
2?
Yeah, you gotta be my guest, but at the same time, you gotta be my co-host.
Okay, I could do that.
So now I get to pick on you. So
yeah, that's fine by me.
I can't think of anything though. Damn it! You got big ears, Brandon.
It's a hat.
Alicia says, "Hey guys, hey Alicia, how you doing?" So Brandon, man, the Light Within Paranormal. How did you come up with such an epic name?
Came up with the name from just thinking overall, like the paranormal. You have your good spirits and your bad spirits, and more thinking so like there's more good than there is bad. So it's like for light wise, you think of good. So I always thought of like that aspect of because everybody that I encountered in the paranormal community has always been in the good terms. There's really has been anybody that caused extra bad or caused that kind of drama too much. There's always been, like I said, there's always been more good. So that's what is light than it is darkness.
Oh,
Very nice. Very. Now, was that a team decision on that one, or did you just say this is the name? Get over it.
I just said that this is the name. Get over it.
I like that. I really do because when I ran the Spokane Ghost Crew, we took it to a vote because we were all four co-founders, and even though I was the lead investigator, we took it to a vote anyways. And one of the team members, David, said, "Well, let's name the team Ghost Bumps."
ghost.
Not ghost. You got to drop the T in it. Ghost Bumps. Yeah, I gave him the same look after I hysterically fell out of my chair holding my gut laughing.
I was trying not to laugh when you said it.
and I gained my composure a little bit and said, "Dude, you're a moron. We are not naming that. We are not naming the team Ghost Bumps." So we decided on the Spokane Ghost Crew, and it stuck. It was a catchy name.
Later on, David would.
It does sound catchy.
Kind of like my metal band I started called Something Creepy.
Okay, so Mikey's in a really good mood, and I'm going to sleep.
Unique
really
name, am I right?
It is. It is. It's very, very creative compared to just being something simple. You thought outside of the box with it.
Exactly. And we were something creepy. So, how long have you been doing this, man?
Paranormal investigating wise, I've been doing it ever since about 2008. I did it from 2008 till about 2014. Then I stopped for a little bit in 2014, and then I restarted again in 2016. So I've been doing it ever since.
Huh, so you're about
we got an extra kid, John's here.
you're about 10, 11 years seasoned vet.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I myself am just turned 8-year-old vet on January 25th.
Oh, really?
Really? We started the Spokane Ghost Crew January 25th of 2014. We had a very solid 3-year run until I went into a place called St. Ignatius Hospital and decided not to do my homework and go in there and just straight start taunting these things.
Uh-oh.
Even threw my team member under the bus in the surgical ward saying, hey, this is the guy that failed you, man. He let you die. Can you kick him, bite him, scratch him, or hit him?
Mom went upstairs.
And ultimately, the 4 days we were in Colfax filming, it was going to be our TV show. We had a place down here that's called Community Minded Television. And you pay $30, you edit your shit, you give it to them, they air it.
Oh, nice.
Well, Colfax was going to be our main spot, and so they let us investigate places nobody else has ever been in. Got to investigate with the mayor. And after the fourth night, we went to go dump our last little bit of evidence that we captured into the folder. And we had so much evidence that we would have made Ghost Adventures look like little schoolgirls in dresses. And went to go open the file, and guess what that file said?
I'm going to say there was a lot that happened in that one room that you were saying that they could do something to your one team member.
Well, sir, unfortunately, that file said empty.
Really?
all of our evidence gone. And the little bit of evidence we had on the card we were about to dump, the card said corrupted.
What?
So we had to tell this lady the next day, we can spend 4 more days doing this, or we're going to go home empty-handed.
Right.
Long and short of it, she was pissed, and ever since then has tried to double or triple charge us for getting into St. Ignatius again. And I come home with that attachment. It completely stopped our momentum. It ruined our team, almost ruined my marriage. And I was bedridden for 6 months. I didn't want nothing to do with anybody. They come in the room, I'd kick, scream, yell, curse, throw shit.
Oh, wow.
6 stagings and 3 blessings it took to get that thing off of me.
Holy crap.
So
Now, did
go ahead.
anything happen to your team member that you said that they were able to, scratch or do whatever to him? Like, did anything ever happen to him when you were in that room?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
And every time I throw him under the bus, from there on out, something happened to me.
That's even weirder.
We kind of made it a game. I would try to get him attacked so I could get attacked and we could have it. Sucked. So my first question to you is, has anything like that ever happened to you or your team members where you've walked into a place and just kind of started taunting and not really knowing what's in there?
Yes, I would have to say over at Penhurst. The person's not on the team anymore, but they were on the team, and we were down in the tunnel system at Penhurst, and we didn't have like a full history, like a full history dig on what happened down in the tunnels. We kind of just went off of what we heard through people that worked there, that kind of stuff. So we had, I guess you could say, a little glimpse, but one person was doing like huge egging on to whatever was down there. And it kind of got to the point where it's like you were able to hear things in the distance, and nothing was happening to the person, but you've seen other people get affected by it that were there at the event with us. Like other people were getting affected by it, and we had to actually leave out of the tunnels within 20 minutes.
Oh wow! So, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of provoking was he doing?
Really, really, really derogatory. It was more so stuff that I don't approve of. And after that happened, I had a conversation with him. I was like, I don't approve of people doing that kind of provoking. Like he was calling it kind of don't say it up on live, but he was calling it a little B. And he was saying, "Oh, come on, stop being a little B. Do something to somebody bigger and everything else." And
now, you mean he was talking about? He was saying, "Come on, you little bitch, you ain't got anything.
Yeah. Come
pick on someone your own side."
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, come on, you little bitch. Stop picking on, stop being a pussy and hiding behind doors. Come out and do something to one of us." And I was like, like that's the kind of stuff, like, it's okay to like say maybe like once or twice, but when you're doing it for 10, 15 minutes back to back, you're really egging something on.
Hello, Melissa.
Hello.
And Mr. Brandon, you need to watch your mouth. You just dropped the P word on my podcast.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I enjoy it. Do it again. So, I mean, there's definitely ways of provoking, I agree with, hey, quit affecting these other people. Come pick on someone your own size. What, are you afraid of me? Come out and do something. I'm challenging you. But there's no real reason to name call these spirits.
Right.
Because number one, you're disrespecting these spirits, and you don't ever disrespect the dead.
No.
I don't care if you're a child murderer. You don't go in there and disrespect them.
No.
And you don't go in there and taunt like that continuously for over 10 minutes, because not only are you putting yourself in danger, but congratulations, smart stuff, you just put your whole freaking team in danger.
Correct. Yeah, because there was probably about 10 of us down there in the tunnels when that happened. So, because it was me, and then there was people that were on my team beforehand, and there was a bunch of other people that came out too. Because, like I said, it was kind of like a public investigation a little bit. So we had some other people that came out as well as a couple other teams. So,
wow. So this guy, did he leave on his own terms, or did you fire him, or?
We had a little talk. It was him and his wife. Well, it was him and his fiance. It was both of them. We had a discussion, and we kind of just put it in, in a mutual way of, they go do their own thing. I'm going to do my own thing. And we just moved on in that aspect.
I got you. There was a time I had to jump on one of my investigators. Our first investigation, we started with nothing but 3 flip phones.
Really?
Kind of 10-minute record, 10-minute listen, 10-minute record, 10-minute listen. And granted, the clients were really good friends of mine. The report was his daughter kept getting the blankets ripped off of her, and eventually she got yanked out of bed herself by her feet. So the mom said, that's it. We need to find somebody. So they called us. And they only lived, we lived in an apartment complex. They lived literally a block and a half away. So, we captured a few really good Class A EVPs on the flip phones. But, you can't upload EVPs on a flip phone to a laptop, unfortunately.
Right.
But a few investigations later of that place, my 5th founder, which I consider him a founder because he brought in equipment. His name's Trevor Gooch. He brought in a camcorder and a couple of tape recorders, and he had a pretty cool EMF thing on his tablet. And this dude, I swear to God, has more flashlights than Carter has pills. This dude drops 20 fucking flashlights on the table and says, "Take your choice, boys."
Now, were they regular flashlights, or were they like the mag lights?
Oh, dude, there's everything from little plastic 1970s flashlights to these big old honking 4-foot long, 3-foot wide, huge metal flashlights. Irene Tokara. Hi, Brandon. And pretty much one of my investigators was, effing this and effing that and shit this and shit that and damn piss and hell. And I pulled him outside and I said, "Look, dude, me and you are about to have a major freaking problem." "Oh, what's the problem, boss?" "Dude, I know these guys are our friends, but they're our clients. You need to watch your freaking mouth." "Oh, I can say whatever I want." "You think you can say whatever you want? This is my team. This is my investigation. If you can't do what I say, then fucking walk, dude. Walk off. I'm done with you. Either watch your mouth or get the hell off of my work site. Plain and simple." Now he decided to stay on, and he actually minded his P's and Q's. So,
which was really smart at that moment.
Right. Irene says, "Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Brian from Tokyo, Japan." Holy crap. Well, hello from Tokyo, Japan. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I gotta know, Irene, what time is it in Tokyo right now? And Donna Guerin says hi. Well, hello, Donna.
Hello.
So, Brandon, how long has Light Within Paranormal been up and running?
We've been up and running since January 1st of 2021. So for a little bit more than a year now.
Nice. Irene says it is 12 p.m. Dang it. I wish it was 12 p.m. here, man. I'd be eating lunch and it'd be warm. We've been lucky. We've got kind of a warm front here in Washington. So it's been anywhere between 40 and 48 degrees.
No, do you guys get a lot of snow over there in Washington?
Oh, this year, not so much. I'd say maybe 2 feet of snow altogether throughout the winter.
Oh, wow.
But you have to remember, it'll snow in freaking May and June up here.
True. That's
like it'll be sunshine, turn to rain, turn to hail, turn to snow, back to rain, back to cloudy, back to sunshine, and windy as hell, all in a matter of about 20 minutes.
Wow. That's crazy.
And Donna says she's in Phoenix. Yeah, you're a team member, Donna. I know you. I'll be working with you here real soon. Irene says, one day ahead from you. It's spring now over here. You're so freaking lucky. So, Brandon, tell me where Light Within Paranormal operates from, sir.
We operate from the Lehigh Valley area over in Pennsylvania. So about an hour and a half away from the New Jersey border over on the eastern side of the state.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
So how far are you guys away from Gettysburg?
About an hour and 35 minutes.
Hour and 35 minutes. You lucky dog. Ugh. And Donna says, yes, I am. I know, Donna. I'm gonna be heading that way in September, and you'll have all three of your co-founders. And we're gonna have a good time, buddy. Irene says, you guys get that crappy weather. We get it so bad it blows from here to here. Good, I'll tell you what, we're done with the crappy weather here, so hopefully it'll be all clear down there for you. Sunshine and rainbows, buddy. Sunshines and rainbows. So have you guys investigated Gettysburg yet?
A couple of us have. We went to the orphanage, and we also did the Jenny Wade house, which both of those locations are awesome. The orphanage, it was definitely different. Like, you could definitely feel the energy different wise when you're in there investigating. When you go into the basement, they have this the whole area where whoever would watch over the kids, she would put one of the kids in there for timeout, and she would leave him in there for hours on end with no light, nothing to eat, nothing to drink. It was just a hole that was under the building. And we actually had one of the mag lights going off upstairs on the main floor, because they use it for tours in the daytime. So when you go walking in, during the daytime, you're able to see the top floor. You're able to see like the dining room area where the kids would sit and where they would give the kids food, where they watch over them in that aspect as well. And then nighttime, they have that front half of the store closed off because they have a door between the dining room and like where the souvenirs are. So you don't got to go into that part of it. So you're more than welcome to just be in the dining room area, and then you're also be able to investigate the basement as well.
Kate Walker says, "Wow, that's awful."
It was.
I agree. That's horrible. Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
No, you're okay. I agree. It was definitely awful. Hearing about the history and everything else of that sort that all happened there, but overall, though, it was that somewhat active location, especially up on the first floor. The basement, I didn't feel much. The first floor, we got the mag lights going off. If I'm not mistaken, I actually have one of the video clips. I got to post it up on YouTube or post it up on Facebook. But it looks like there's like an orb going from part of the table over to like where the mag light is. Like you could kind of see it move from the tables to the mag light when we're asking questions about it on the video. So you can actually hear the audio of us asking questions, and you can see the video of it actually going from the table over to where the mag light is.
If you have that on video, bud, all you have to do is send it to me in Messenger, and I can save it to my phone. And then from there, I can upload it to the podcast, and I can actually show that evidence.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to go through the my one hard drive that I have over here with with all those kind of videos on it. I would have to go through that and clip it really quick.
Gotcha. And Irene says, come and visit. I will take you to ghost hunting, and you don't have to go far to see anything paranormal, from Suicide Waterfall to old samurai graves who committed suicide or were killed. They are not at rest. We will definitely be seeing you, Irene. And the Paranormal Nightcrawler says, what's up, Brian and Brandon? Paranormal Nightcrawler, you ass monkey. Get on the podcast. Supposed to be my ghost host, and I'm sitting here doing it by myself. But anyway, Irene, I'm scared to death of water. If I can't see the bottom, I won't go any further. I've seen too many horror movies where Voorhees comes out of the water and drags you under. And I sure as hell don't fly because, number one, I'm scared of heights. And number two, Final Destination kind of ruined my life. I guess.
Now, which one? All of them, or just that one in particular?
The airplane ruined my life for flying. I've flown once, and when I did, to the woman I was married with at the time, I squeezed her hand so hard that I popped every stone and out of her ring, and I bent her ring in 3 different places, and pretty much bruised her entire hand.
Wow!
But after watching Final Destination, yeah, I don't fly. I don't go to NASCAR. I definitely do not drive the freeway. Let's see. I don't go to raceways and
roller coasters.
I have never done roller coasters.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure my team will have no problem giving me an elephant tranquilizer, putting me on a plane, and I'll wake up and we'll be in Japan and we'll investigate. Sounds like fun. I like it. So, Brandon, with the Ghost Crew, our first investigation to this date is and was the most haunted residential that we have ever done. It actually landed us on Creme 2 News, the big news channel here in town. And it wasn't even October, dude. It was the week after Easter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got invited to come down and be in the studio. We were on the morning show, and me and Rick thought it was great idea, dude. Let's not go to sleep and potentially miss our opportunity. Hey, great idea. Let's pound energy drinks and play video games all night. So we get on there. And of course it takes him like a half hour to let us in. And he's in a Royal Rumble t-shirt. I'm in a black hoodie. We get on stage. We're standing next to these 2 really pretty chicks. So he's doing the Linus dance pretty much. And I'm sitting here going, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. It was horrible, dude. The whole thing was just horrible. But that was actually supposed to be a question. I get off on rants. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But with our first investigation being our most haunted location for residentials, what was your first residential and your most haunted residential?
I'll probably say Well, the first one was a house. I used to live over in Casaqua, which was a little small town on the opposite side of Allentown.
Get the lights.
And I actually got invited out by the homeowner that they were experiencing a lot of paranormal activity. I was actually in high school when this happened. So when I got the phone call from them about coming out, I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, I'll come out. And got out there and everything. I set up a few cameras that I had, the couple audio recorders. And I was just asking questions. I had stuff set up in a couple different rooms. And really didn't have much happen during that night. But right as soon as I went to pack up to go leave, I heard this bedroom door slam shut. And everybody was downstairs. So there was nobody upstairs in the house because I made sure everybody was in, I asked everybody to please, just kind of like, be downstairs or be, out of the house for a little bit, so I could try to investigate the second and third floor because that's where all the activity was. And as soon as I got downstairs, and I literally threw my camera into my pocket, hit stop on the audio recorder, was about to go walk out the door, and that's all I heard was a big slam on the door. And I went running up the steps to go see what it was, and their door shut. Right as soon as I opened it, I started taking photos, and I actually had photos of there being orbs everywhere. And I thought it was dust. I was like, yeah, I think most of that's dust. But there was a couple that were, you could tell that they were orbs. They weren't just regular dust. So,
Had you felt any unusual temperature fluctuations at the time?
At that time, I did. Walking into the room because it was during the winter time. So I'm going to guess they probably had the house set for 60. So when I walked in to that room, it felt colder than it did out in the hallway.
Nice. Paranormal Nightcrawler says, "Don't make me make you disappear, LOL." Irene says, "Ha ha," and then says, "Our freeways are crazy fun." Yeah, I've seen your freeways in Japan, and no thank you. You guys drive like animals. You're like Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York put together. You little speed demons.
Hey, every part of the world.
Should we leave you home when we go investigate Japan?
Paranormal Nightcrawler says, "Brian is flying to AZ, though. It's why we're taking stock in tranquilizer companies. Ha ha." Yeah, Alden, I will be driving, thank you, and not on the freeway. Well, look who it is. Mr. I'm freaking 34 minutes late, fancy pants, Cass the alien.
I'm worth the wait.
Yeah, you are, baby. Rawr.
No, we had a super close call with Shar. So I look and feel strung out. I feel as bad as I look.
Dude, if that's the case, get off the podcast, man. Go take care of business. I've got this handled.
Business is taken care of. And quite frankly, doing the shows makes me feel much better. Even if I was a rich man, I'd be doing shows. So like this is
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Shar is his daughter.
Yeah. It ended very well. So
health issues right now. And Irene says, "I got plenty of sleeping meds for Brian," and says, "and a swing of sake will work." Oh, she gets me, Brandon.
Sake!
I have never tried sake, but I've had the opportunity to buy like the bottles of it. Mm-hmm. But I understand if it comes from Japan, the U.S. version does not do it justice.
Well, that's like the same thing with Jägermeister. I heard it's different if you go over to like Germany or if you go down to I think it's one of the islands. It's different because they use deer blood instead of using like black licorice taste. So they actually put that in with the alcohol, so it gives a completely different taste.
Very cool.
Huh. And Melissa Ewing says, "Hi, Cass." So, Brandon, with you guys with you guys doing the most haunted residential location that you've done to date, what date was that investigation? And honestly, would you go back to that investigation?
If I had a chance to go back to that house, I definitely would. That date was probably
Well, okay, you can just give me the year. That's fine.
okay. It was back in 2008.
2008. So when you were just first starting out, you
Yep.
were still wet behind the ears.
Yep.
You know, me and you got a
They
lot in
usually
common,
do.
Brandon.
Yeah, we do.
You know, what did you guys have for equipment when you did that investigation?
I had 2 audio recorders. It was a cheap night vision camera because I was, like I said, I was back in high school, so really didn't
One of
know
them
how to.
$50 ones from Amazon.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about. 2 AA batteries,
Yep.
about an hour and a half worth of light,
Yep. And then it just die.
tiny little memory card.
Yep. Very small. I think it was like only 4 gigs of memory. So it's like I had to keep popping out the memory. I had 2 of those, and it was just a regular camera. I was using a Canon camera, and that was it.
Nice. So has the light within had much exposure in the public eye? You know, have you guys been in newspapers or magazines or television?
No, not yet. No. And I like to have that happen at least once, but it hasn't happened yet.
I can help you out with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When well, I can give you advice.
Okay.
When we got into the Gazette paper, which was a paper down in Colfax,
Mhm.
what we did is we were walking around the town, and we saw the Gazette building, and I was like, "Hey guys, let's go in here real quick. Let me talk to these people." And I went in and I said, "Hey, my name's Brian. This is who I represent. Yeah, I'm looking to talk to an editor." So, he's invited me in, said, "Take your choice." So one of them waved me over and he goes, "Well, what can I do for you?" I was like, "Check it out, dude. I want to tell you a story, see if you're interested in doing an interview." Told him what we were there for. His jaw dropped and was like, yeah, let's do an interview. So the trick of it is say you're going to Gettysburg or Pennhurst.
Mhm.
What you want to do is you call your local news channels and you say, "Hey, I'm Brandon, the founder of Light Within Paranormal, and I was wondering if I can talk to a reporter." And they're either going to let you or say, "Well, can I take a message?" If they say take a message, you give them your name and number, what you're doing. And if they call, they call. If not, they don't. But if they give you to a reporter, you tell them, "Hey, this is what, I'm Brandon from Light Within Paranormal, and we wanted to invite you guys on an adventure with us. We're going to do the Pennhurst Asylum, and we thought it would be cool if you guys came along with us and maybe, aired some of our video, did an interview with us, something to that effect."
Oh, okay.
And if they're interested, they'll be like, "Yeah, sure, when's the date, blah blah blah." Or if they say, "Well, can I take a message, and I'll pass it on to a reporter to see if they're interested." Lay it all on the line, dude. Tell them exactly what you're doing, what date you're going to do it, everything. And be like, it'd be great if you guys would, if you guys are interested, it would be great to have you cover a story on us. We're a newer paranormal team. We believe in helping people and all that. And then for the newspapers, and do you guys have them, they're kind of like newspapers, but they're magazines at the same time?
Yes, we do. Yep.
Okay, we call those up here the Inlander.
Okay.
And it's kind of the same deal with that. You call them up and you say, "Hey, my name's Brandon with Light Within Paranormal. I was wondering if you guys would be interested and doing a story on us and maybe coming out on an investigation or two. And they'll either say, well, I'm not sure, we'll pass your story on and see if anybody's interested. Or they're going to tell you, yeah, actually, I know somebody that's interested. And okay. Boom, there you go. Now, with us, we happen to call Creme 2. And not only did the dude come out to the house and take a full tour, he did like a 5 to 6 minute, hi, this is Rashad, and like anchors do. And then he showed clips of him going in the house with us, showed us talking, showed the little girl talking, and then gave his punchline and sent it back in. And then boom, we were in the studio and standing in front of cameras. And don't do what I did and be nervous as hell.
Yeah. I mean, I know that would probably hit me right away, but it's like, I know I would probably, loosen up a little bit after a few minutes.
And, when it comes to like newspapers and magazines, it's good exposure, because when we did the Inlander, the Inlander is pretty much put in every store, well, there were no recreational marijuana shops yet, but they're in every store, every restaurant. And, you simply call them and tell them what you're doing. And then, you do an investigation or two with them. You sit down, you tell them everything there is to know about your team, what you're trying to accomplish. And it's good exposure.
Definitely.
Another thing to do for good exposure is, do you guys have business cards?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Take your business cards and go to any shop that you can find, like little convenience stores, gas stations, anywhere that has a bulletin board, and see if you can drop, 20, 25 cards there, or, put a card or flyer on the bulletin board.
Okay.
And, I'm sure you guys have recreational pot shops there, definitely drop some in there.
Where are you?
And, metaphysical shops, stuff like that. But the key to it is always have at least 5 to 10 cards on you.
Okay. That's actually a good rule of thumb, because I normally keep at least 1 or 2 on me, just in case if there's ever, somebody, shows any interest, because you never know who you're going to bump into. That's how I was thinking. You never know who you're going to bump into.
And do you always wear that shirt when you go out in public?
I do at times.
Always wear that when you go out into public and have cards on you. Because number one, it's a good conversation starter. Hey, what's LWP? Boom, there's your in. And if they say, oh, I don't believe in that shit, well, guess what they're going to go do? They're going to go tell a bunch of their people, yeah, I just ran into this jackass at the store, thinks he's a paranormal investigator. Huh, that crap ain't real. Well, guess what? That negative person just did what I call the spider web effect. He just spouted your name out to 5, 10 people that didn't know about your team.
Right.
And then you randomly strike up conversations. Like, you'll get a week. You can tell when they're into the paranormal after a while. And you just, hey, how's it going? Oh, not bad. How you doing? Oh, man, I'm doing all right, getting ready for an investigation tonight. Even if you don't have one, say that. What do you mean investigation? Oh, dude, I'm a paranormal investigator. See, light light within paranormal, man. We've been around a couple years, and yeah, love what we do. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Yeah. Well, hey, check it out. I got a business card here. It's got, my name, my phone number, my email, Facebook. Here's a card, man. If you know of anybody or anything, just spread the word out. And they'll end up spreading the word out. I never used to be a social butterfly. I hated talking to people, man. Talking to people were horrible for me. But when you're in business, especially when you're the owner or the founder, you have to be able to talk to people.
Right.
You have to be able to talk to random strangers and tell them about your company. You have to be able to do consultations with your clients. You have to be able to talk on camera. There's a lot that comes with owning a team, and most people don't realize that.
Right. They really don't. They just think it's, oh yeah, you set up the locations, and and you do whatever else. You tell people how to work up the equipment. It's like how you said, Brian. There's a whole lot more to it than just what people see up front. There's a whole lot more to it.
Exactly. And Irene says, I do residentials and mostly in the U.S. and I investigate I cross over spirits, but I kick out the dark ones. I work alone most of the time. Irene, if you're ever in the States, hit me up or hit Brandon up.
Yeah, please.
And we'll get you people to work with, because you should never, ever work alone in the paranormal field.
Building on that point.
Hang on a second. Kate Walker said spiritualist churches would be a good place to give out cards to if they have them in your area. I don't know how common those are, but we have a few here. That's some more good advice.
Thank you.
Because you see, running a team, my team ended up getting lazy on me. I got to the point to where I was doing all the footwork with the business cards and talking to random strangers and passing them out. I was finding all the investigations. I was doing all the consultations. I was coming up with the game plan. I was leading the team. I was the only one going over evidence.
Yeah, you were doing the same thing I was doing for a while.
And it just gets so much to do, and so much to fathom, that after a while you end up cracking and you tell the team to piss off and walk away.
Yeah, you don't want to get to that point.
And that's exactly what happened with the SGC the second time we went down. I got tired of it all, and we were in a meeting, and I said, look, y'all either step up or I'm done. And they're all, oh, you ain't going to leave the SGC, and we do just as much as you do. And it was that line right there. I got up and I said, congratulations, Richard, you're the new lead investigator. Have fun. And I walked away from the paranormal field. Actually, one of my co-founders walked away with me after a while. And that's when I started up my metal band and did all that. And then Richard came back to me about 8 months later, and he says, dog, I can't do anything. I can't find anything. I need you back in the team, dude.
Hard looks, isn't it?
And and I think that's one thing too, is because I'm kind of in the process of trying to find new team members to try to fill voids. So not everything just on me, because I had people on the team before where I just asked them just for a little simple assignment, just to see if they would actually do it. I said, I'm going to give each one of you to a state. I want you to find 10 haunted locations in both, in both of those states. So, like, perfect example, I'd be like, hey, you look in West Virginia, find 10 in West Virginia, and I want you to look in Florida. So find 10 locations in Florida, just to give me history, because, I want to see how dedicated you are. And neither one of them would do anything. And they would just want to just go out and investigate and just investigate. They want to go over any evidence. And it's kind of like how you said, Brian. It's like they kind of like left you, they kind of like left me up in the air to do everything. And, it's like it's kind of like a bad feeling, because it's like, you shouldn't have to do everything with you being a founder. Like, you should be able to have a team that's there and willing to help you, whether it's even going over any sort of evidence, any sort of history, anything that they can help you out with. You should be able to have that help.
And you see, here's what you need to do, Brandon. You need to find yourself a case manager, and the case manager, that person will find the investigations and they'll do the consultations. But at the same time, you always want to be at the consultations.
Right.
Because you never know if that person writing it down or recording it is going to miss something or miss a question. And then you want to find yourself your investigators, and you want probably 3 to 4 full-timers, and you'll want probably 3 to 4 part-timers. Now, I don't know if you run it as co-founder and lead investigator, or are you just co-founder?
I just have it labeled as I'm the founder and the lead investigator, just because I really don't have, I really never gave anybody else that title to be a lead investigator yet, because I haven't found the right person to give it to.
Well, what you want to do is you want to find that right person, and you want to make them second in command. So that way, if you guys just get done with an investigation, you're too tired to go over evidence, and, you have a shit ton of stuff to do the next day, and you have an investigation coming up that next day, you need to find somebody that you can rely on, like my Richard. If I ever needed time off, he was there to take over. But you need to find that person that you can send out in your place on those investigations so you can go over that evidence.
Right.
Or just make it a rule, a straight up rule. If you're an investigator, I don't care if it's the same night or the next day, you give your clients 3 to 5 days before you go and reveal the evidence. Well, we have 3 to 5 days to go over that evidence. You are going over that evidence with me. And if you do not go over this evidence, you will not be an investigator. Or you just hire yourself a few people that just want to investigate and, name them your seniors, and then find a couple other people that want to investigate and are willing to go over the evidence with you.
Right.
Now, speaking of finding people, if I could go back to what Irene was saying before we get too far away, a little blue birdie is telling me that Irene doesn't need to be in the States to do what you want her to do. And something I'd like to point out is, with the way the environment's changing, a great deal more quantum light workers are being able to operate from wherever they are. Space being an illusion at all, they don't need to be with you on the investigations, if they're for real.
This is true. And do you have
It does help though.
Yeah. Do you have a cleanser?
I don't have one on the team, but I do reach out to one.
Okay. So you have somebody you can call and say, hey, these people want their house cleansed, let's rock and roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you're gonna need is a Ghostbuster.
It's always good to have a cleanser on board with you, and maybe a clairvoyant or a medium. I'm not a firm believer in mediums because they really have no way of showing you what they can do unless you're on an investigation. That's really the only way to test them out.
Right.
But
Yeah. Unfortunately true. And that's how a lot of fakers get it.
and you're gonna go through a lot of bad apples. I had 2 people that I hired that pretty much tried to take over my spot. And dang, nobody taking over my spot.
Mm-mm.
For the SDC, I was known as the face that ran the place.
You have
But
to be.
you need to rule with an iron fist.
Right. Especially when you're the founder and and you're the lead. When you're acting as both, it's like, it's like that position is yours. You don't give it up to, just to anybody. Especially the founder position. You don't give that up. It's like things like it doesn't matter how hard somebody will try. You keep it.
Amen, brother. And you're gonna meet resistance, hardcore. And what you should do is, I'm not telling you how to run your business by any means. I'm just giving you advice from my perspective from running a team for 8 straight years. What you want to do is you want to hold meetings every month. And you need to discuss, equipment, what you want to get, this and that. You need to discuss investigations, upcoming, and all that stuff, and make sure, there's nothing negative going on in your team. And if so, it needs to be brought to the table.
Right.
Now, ruling with an iron fist, you're the man. You're the founder. You're the lead. What you say goes. Don't make it to where everybody has a say in it. Because if you do that, people will vote yes and people will vote no. And when the people that get outvoted, they get butt hurt, their feelings get hurt, blah, blah, blah. And it makes it hard for you to work with.
Right.
Is this like a primate dominance issue? Because I run into that exact same issue, and I've tried to solve it before by like involving everyone in the leadership process, and it always explodes in my face.
Exactly. And last but not least, you need to find yourself a good researcher.
Yep.
And when ruling with that iron fist and you're doing the meetings, man, you need to tell them, look, this is what we're doing. This is how it goes, and set up dues if need be, Hey, everybody needs to throw in $25 a month. Especially if you guys want to travel to these other places or you want equipment or, this, that, and the other, because unfortunately with my team, it came all on me.
Yep.
I had to come up with the gas money. I was the only one with a car. I had to go pick up all the team members. I had to buy all the equipment. And it's frustrating.
It is, because I won't ever have that problem with buying the equipment. Most of the people, because when I do like when I talk to people for like any sort of like interview wise, like kind of like, whenever I put up a post saying, hey, looking for part-time investigator. If I choose to talk to somebody, that's one of the questions that come up is, do you have a reliable transportation? And if people say no, then I'm like, well, I look at the area that they're in and I'm like, well, if there's not another team member in that area, I'm sorry, but I got to pass on you, because it's like, I'm not going to drive around all over Pennsylvania to go pick up people. It's like, I don't get paid to do that. Nobody gets paid to drive from point A to point B.
Exactly.
And the only time I've ever really actually picked up people for like a long road trip was went over to New Jersey, because we went over to White Hill, New Jersey, and I picked up a couple of the team members before, but they gave me gas money. And I was like, all right, it's like, that's the thing that they could do is, at least do that. But going back to being like the only one buying the equipment, yeah, I've encountered that problem. I'm like the only one that actually buys equipment for my own team, which I'm fine with because it's my team. But
Well,
people that ask me, they're like, what piece of equipment do you recommend me getting? And I'm like, in all reality, I'm like, just get something that we don't already have, here with us. Like I have the K2 mirrors, I have the cameras, I have I have the video cameras, I have the audio, I have a music box. Like I go down the list of everything that I have. I'm like, just get something that we don't have, on hand to use. It's like, that's all I ask.
Now, the smart thing to do with that is make a list of equipment you have, make a list of equipment you need, and then make a list of equipment you want, and then give it to each of the team members and be like, look, this is what we have, this is what we need, and this is what we want. It for dues or whatever, this is your guys' job to take care of that area. Kate says, that's the part I find most interesting. Research history. Looking at the evidence, I think I'd be scared to actually investigate. LOL. See, your researcher does not have to live in the same state.
Right.
So,
and she's right. Researching some of this stuff can get emotionally taxing.
Kate, if you're interested, I know somebody that needs a researcher. Come interview with Brandon. Irene says, I don't have to be there to see what is going on. I see it and feel it. Just by talking about a place, a spirit, I can find and talk to him or her. I know how they died. That is a phenomenal gift, Irene. I want to work with you extremely bad.
She has that sense.
Toledo says, hi, guys. Irene says, my mom had the gifts. My mom had a gift. I have it, and all my kids do. Damn, you should start up your own family team. That's awesome.
Yes, that's what we did. But something I would like to add, just real quick, so nobody else gets discouraged. Certain genetic configurations can aid in the production of quantum. Quantum magic. We don't have a scientific word for it yet. But that doesn't mean other people can't do it. If you guys are interested at home and you want to learn to do this stuff, you can do this. Just be prepared for the world to call you crazy.
Which brings me to my next point. Are you guys having an all right time finding residential investigations?
Been having a little bit more of a hard time finding more residentials. They just kind of more so just come along here and there. So it's like when it's like when one comes in, there's normally another one or two that follow behind it. But outside of that, it's never like a consistent flow.
Okay, how thick a skin do you have?
Pretty thick.
Like if somebody called you a crackhead or lay off the sauce or you're an absolute fake.
Play back. That's what we do.
Right.
Are you able to put a smiley face on their comment and completely leave it alone?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what you do. For the diameter you're willing to travel for residential investigation, like for us, it was a 25-mile diameter throughout Spokane and northern Idaho. Because nobody threw in for gas. Mm-hmm. My car was kind of crappy anyways, so we really couldn't travel outside 25 to maybe 40 miles at the most. But what you do is you join a bunch of buy, sell, and trade groups. And you say, hi, my name's Brandon with Light Within Paranormal. Do you or anybody you know have or are dealing with paranormal activity? If so, shoot me a message. I've 10 years experience. I can bless your home. we're professional. We have this for equipment. Just reach out to us and let us know. Thank you. Have a great day. And then you're going to flood with messages or notifications on Facebook, and you just have to weed them out.
Right.
And for those who are interested or know of a place or know of somebody, you write their name down, you schedule a time to meet with them, or if they know a place, you write the place down and say, I'll look into it, thank you. And if they say they know somebody, give them, tell them where to get a hold of you at. Don't ever give your number out.
No.
I found that out the hard way.
No, I
give your email or tell them to get a hold of you on Messenger.
Yeah.
And
the same thing with my business cards. I have my email address on it for the team page. Well, for the team, and I have the Facebook. So so people can message through the Facebook. I don't have my phone number on it. I don't have nothing like that because I'm. It's like the same thing. I don't want just random people calling me or texting me. It's like I'd rather have you message me on Facebook or message the page and or even email it. It's like you can do either one. It's like it makes it a whole lot easier.
Right.
By nature of what we do, we have
to. Rio says, what's the topic again? Anything paranormal. Says I work with nature and magic. Irene says, I would love to help you with whatever you got, Brian and Brandon. Awesome, Irene. See, I'm getting you a researcher. We got Irene wanting to work with us. See, it's amazing to come on podcast, brother.
It is, definitely.
And when you're getting your business cards, see, I put the name of the company, my name and title, my phone number, my email, and our Facebook link. And can't really say I've ever been blown up on my phone, but it is a good way for people to get a hold of you that way. But another thing that'll help you get residentials is, like I said, dropping off business cards and hanging up flyers. Like go to Vistaprint, and I think it was $64. I just custom made Forget Me Not Paranormal. She sent me the money over PayPal, and I designed her business cards for her. But you get 500 of them for like $64.
Oh, wow.
And we bought 150 of them, and we went out one night, and I probably hit 5 different pot shops. I hit a couple metaphysical stores and a few different little convenience stores, and we were pretty much out of business cards after that. So with hang on a minute. I was meditating in a cemetery earlier ago. I felt something on my back holding on me and rubbing my back and body.
That's dumb, dude. Don't fucking do that. You're gonna get
that's kind of
hurt.
creepy.
Cemeteries are built where they're built for a reason, and if you go into it, you'll notice cemeteries are almost always built by the Masons. They pick those places for a reason, usually because there's a vortex or something on the land. Don't meditate in a cemetery. The dead do not like to be mocked.
Do you have a Facebook group page?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay. How many fans are on the group page?
994, or no, I'm sorry, 939. There's 994 on one of the on the one page for likes.
Nice. And Irene says, I don't like cemeteries at all. Katie Walker said, like a free back massage. Hey, Kate Walker, if you are interested in doing research and going over evidence, on the for real side, definitely get a hold of Brandon. You can get a hold of me, Brian James on Facebook, and I can start a little group chat with the three of us. So with you doing commercial investigations, how many commercial investigations has your team done?
Overall, we've done, I want to say about 25 so far.
Can you tell us some of the investigations you've done?
Yeah, absolutely. We did Bobby Mackey's musical.
Stop you right there real quick. I got to know what your experiences were and how it was all around.
I didn't experience anything. I'll be honest. I was a little disappointed when I went because I didn't experience nothing at all. One person that was on my team that went with me, he had something attached and follow him home. He had two things follow him home.
Oh shit!
See, it's dangerous.
It was a little girl, and he had a man follow him home too.
Now we all know that dark spirits can almost always imitate little children, so definitely covered on that one.
Right.
When you went over the evidence, how was the evidence? Did you capture anything?
I didn't hear or see anything on the evidence. Again, too, I had evidence on I had equipment on two different parts. I was carrying a camcorder with me, and I left a audio recorder and another camcorder upstairs on the main floor because we were able to investigate the one person's apartment that lived there. I can't think of the guy's name anymore, but he was kind of like the caretaker of Bobby Mackey's before it got taken over fully. But he lived upstairs, and we were able to investigate up there, the first floor, and we were investigate down in the underneath the whole entire facility where the hole is, is supposed to go down.
Yeah, the haunted.
Bobby Mackey? I feel like I should know that.
Bobby Mackey's is in Wilder, Kentucky, and it is supposedly known as one of the most haunted locations in the U.S.
That's why you guys are talking about it. Like you should know.
This is my group, and I own it. And she says dark spirits can be whatever they want to be, and they are not to be trusted. Period.
Absolutely. Are you Shinto by chance?
Go ahead and continue with your list, Brandon.
Yeah, sure. So we've been to Bobby Mackey's. We've been to the Samuel Miller Mansion a couple times already, which that was kind of interesting. The first visit going there, another person that was on my team actually seen a full body. Like he's seen, it looks like he picked it out to a T what the person was wearing, what the person was dressed like, and everything, and he appeared for all of 10 seconds.
Holy shit!
I seen his face go from regular color to like being drained, to the point where I had to walk him out of the building, and he didn't want to go back in for almost a half hour. It took him that long to come back.
Wow,
that's a good sign, actually.
That reminds me of St. Ignatius. We were down in the morgue, and of course we're just getting the tour, and we don't have any of our equipment. And there's this big, I'd say 12 to 14 foot solid steel door. And I happened to look behind me to the door. Mm-hmm. And there's this figure standing above the door with his arm on top of the door like this, pretty much staring a freaking hole through me. And I tapped my buddy Rick. I said, hey. Well, not really a tap. I was more slapping him at this point. I said, dude, you need to look behind me and tell me you see what I see. He looks back and he goes, about 15, 16 feet tall, piercing eyes, staring a hole right through you. I said, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. He goes, I see it too. And I said, okay, let's go that way, just a little bit quicker.
Was it human?
Yes, Cat. It was a 14 to 15 foot tall human.
Wow. Holy crap.
That seems like a silly question, but in my line of work, it could have been a chipmunk, okay?
It could have been chipmunk that's all near the top of the roof. Like,
yeah, the great spirits are not small.
And another weird story is when you first walk into the hospital, you walk up to the wall and you go to the right, and there's this big hallway. Now, down this big hallway, about halfway through, are a set of double doors. Well, before we took our break, Richard found a softball and just kind of, rolled it along its way just to see what would happen. And it stopped in front of the door that was locked. You couldn't get into it without a key. We come back in from taking a 15, 20-minute smoke break, and the ball's gone. So Valerie opens the doors, and the softball is sitting about 3 feet in front of the locked door on the other side.
That's weird. That's really odd.
So go ahead.
Molecular,
it's like, how to get over there
is a very, very difficult thing to put off.
We couldn't figure it out. We were tripping about that.
I would be too.
I would have been in the same boat because it's like there's no physical way to get over there, and there's I'm sure there was no hole on either side of the door that was big enough to get a softball through.
No, they were solid metal doors.
See, this is where we differ. My question wouldn't have been asking for the physical way. My question would be, if that thing's powerful enough to be agitating molecules like that, we're going to need a bigger proton pack.
What Ecto 1?
And you see the
the
second time, because I went back to Colfax a second time after I got that spirit off of me, and it was me, my sister, and a guy by the name of Charles Howard Johnson, who does anonymous paranormal. And I'm in a side room, and they see this big figure down the hallway because Charles has the thermal thing for his phone, the little camera thing you attach to your phone.
Yep.
And they think it's me. And they're like, Bubba, come down this way. And I pop my head out of the room. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to investigate in here. Shut up. And they're like, that's not right. And you hear him say a little bit later on the camera, I think that spirit is following him around. Dude, that spirit was everywhere I was in that whole hospital within 25 to 50 feet of me at all times.
Oh, wow.
That thing was laser focused on me.
See, this is why I think our two industries really need to get together. You know what I mean? You guys could use some backup, and quite frankly, we're bored. We need more stuff to do. So, yeah. So if you had like an organization like the Ghostbusters, we'll just say Ghostbusters because I think we all like Ghostbusters. But if you had like an organization like the Ghostbusters, would you call them for investigation before you go on investigation?
No.
About Brandon?
Ecto 1?
No. I don't think I would either.
Why?
No. The reason why I wouldn't is because number one, doing my mouth. Number one, I don't know what's in that house. So therefore, it's my job to go in and investigate to see what exactly is in there. Now, if I come across a demon or a dark spirit that my team can't get out of the house, then absolutely.
Fair enough.
But why send Ghostbusters in for spirits that aren't bad?
Grab it. 2-on-1. Come on, man.
Fair enough.
True, because spirits, they're not there to harm anybody. They're there just kind of just be noticed and just live on a day-to-day basis like us.
Exactly. So go ahead and continue your list, Brandon. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. So we were at Samuel Miller 3 times, and every single time it was always something different. The last time I was there, it was actually I caught it was orbs going across in 3 different photos. So it started off on the left-hand side and went boom, 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 boom across, and there was a door all the way over on the other side. And we weren't like even investigating yet. I just started taking photos because we were just walking around, and I was like, yeah, I was like, this area is always, I was always told this area is always active with like a figure. So I just took a few photos, and there was literally an orb. We didn't touch nothing dust wise, and it was just a little, off guard at first. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so it's gonna be one of those kind of active nights. So,
now, when it comes to orbs with me, like I have a hard time with orbs.
okay.
Unless I can zoom in on them and I can see a face, or if they are completely different colored than the rest of the specks that are around them, or if it's the only thing in the picture, but they've got to be a different color for me. They can't just be white.
Okay.
Unless they're kind of, like got a tail or they're long and stringy.
Right.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10, you're looking at fairy nets.
True. That's true.
You're a fairy net.
No, fairy gnats. Fairy gnats. It's a species of gnat.
I'm going to fairy gnat your ass here in a minute, guys. Shut up and let the man talk. God.
Promises.
Oh, good boy. Go ahead, Brandon.
So another location we've been to was the Southern Mansion. We went there twice. Went there 2 years ago and this year over in Cape May.
Maybe tomorrow, but school tomorrow and it's already 8:20.
We went to the Conjuring House up in Rhode Island. Went up there.
You went to the Conjuring House?
Yeah.
How was
I know that.
Jackson.
It was interesting because you were able to stay the night there for the price. All told, probably about 9 o'clock at night, maybe about 8:30ish. There really was like there wasn't too much going on at that time, and we were down in the basement, and the one laser grid got drained. But I was like, it's a laser grid. The batteries normally don't hold a lot of charge anyway. So we went upstairs, and we had one of those prop dogs. You ever see like the trigger props where you gotta pet them and make them go off?
Were you what?
You gotta like you gotta physically touch the animal to make it go off. Like there's a electrical wire on the back of it. Like as soon as it lights up. You ever see those before?
Yeah, it's kind of like the teddy bear that's got the sensors inside of it to light up.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we had a German Shepherd looking dog. Well, it was more so somebody else that was there with, because it was a bunch of different teams. So there was 3 teams up there at that time. Somebody on one other team, they had a German Shepherd dog, one room over from the room we were in, and we were all investigating together. And we were asking questions, and the German Shepherd dog went off, and there was nobody in the other room. So we kept asking questions. Then one of the REM pods went off, and we asked if if it felt comfortable being around any of us, and we're like, we could use the REM pod for yes, or we could use whatever else for no. we were trying to think of something else that I could use for a no. We were using a flashlight, and he kept using the REM pod. So it said, so it's like it went off yes for the REM pod that I felt comfortable being around a couple of us. So we're like, all right. So we wanted to go head downstairs to get warm because it was middle of January when we went, and it was freezing because with it being one of those old style farmhouses, the heat doesn't stay in well. So it's like kind of going out a little bit more than you could feel.
Okay.
So pretty much, we went downstairs to get warm, and the thing followed us downstairs. And we were like, oh, okay. So there was another team down there warming up, and they were like, did something come down with you guys? And I was like, I think so, because it got kind of cold. I was like, it blocked up the only heat source. Kind of like walked right in front of it, like you felt the temperature difference. So then probably about 2 hours later, we went up to bed because there's bedrooms and cots and everything. So I laid in one of the beds, and this, like, I was wearing probably 3 or 4 layers just to try to stay warm. And there was nice comfort on the bed. So I was like just laying underneath that, and my whole back was ice cold for the whole entire night. So it was just weird. It's like you heard, like I had that happen, and then you heard something going up and down the steps the whole entire night too. Like,
sounds like they were scalping you.
Right.
Man, I understand that feeling. When we did the 4 days in Colfax, they let us camp out in the park. And the middle of October. So we're camping out in this park, and everybody's got these, thick blankets. Well, I have only one thick blanket, and of course I left that home for my wife. And my buddy's like, oh, I got you covered in blankets, dog. Brings me 2 blankets that are this fucking thick. So I'm sitting here all night while I hear because the park is haunted too. And I hear the merry-go-round creaking all night. I'm sitting here going,
we call that nope.
It had to have been hard to investigate, though, with 3 other teams. I mean, that seems an awful lot of people to capture evidence with in a small area.
Yeah, there was 6 of us overall. So one team had 4 people. I was the only one that went off of my team, and then there was another team that went with only 1 person.
Well, that's not bad then. No. 6 people in a residence.
Yeah.
Depending on how big it is. Like if you have a 2-story residential, then it's very easy to throw 3 up top and 3 on the bottom.
Right. Yeah, because we were trying to keep it to the point where we were trying to have at least a room in between everybody. So it's like there really wasn't too much cross contamination, because when you go to shut the bedroom doors upstairs, you kind of really couldn't hear over 2 rooms over from you. You were able to hear the stuff in the middle room if somebody was in the middle room, but you couldn't hear at the far end. So
nice. Yes, Cass.
I have a question. I'm wondering, do you guys consider the brainwave activity of the various team members when you're doing an investigation? Something that, like Eldon's mentioned it, and so have you, Brian, that latent psychotics. Yeah, latent psychotics are everywhere. But latent psychics have a tendency to affect investigations, from what they've said. Now, Kim, I'm learning about all this stuff, so I don't know. Is that a thing?
I think it can be, especially if they're there on the premises, or or if you have one in with you, like. Kind of like through like Zoom or through Skype or however you have them on camera. I think that could maybe throw, like a small, like a small spin into there. But outside of that, though, if you don't have the contact with one, I don't think it will play a huge role. But again, I could be wrong, though.
I do have a question for you, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you get other people from paranormal groups either on your page or in your group page, do you allow them to share stuff about their team?
Yes, I do.
So you allow them to come on your page and advertise.
Yes.
Now, with
On
that,
the page I do. The reason why is because they let me do the same thing too. Whenever
oh,
I put up any evidence, or if I have an event coming up, they all let me do do the same thing. It's kind of like how me and you had that one conversation before, where you asked me when we first became friends on Facebook and everything about doing that. That's I'm all for it because it kind of falls into that thing of kind of working like a team, working like a pair of unity.
united together as one.
Absolutely.
So,
So
what kind of entity or spirit drains phones? Well, Tynos, honestly, any kind of spirit besides residual can drain anything at any time, because a residual, it's kind of like a picture. They're there at the same time every day doing the same thing, and then they're gone. To where when you have not residual, but you have help me out, Brandon. What's the word I'm looking for here?
what do you have? Intelligent
Spirits, or spirits of any kind other than residual. They can drain your phone, your equipment, or anything else to either stop the communication or to gain energy to communicate and or manifest.
Yeah, I always have like an extra REM pod, or I have an extra mag light on hand normally, and I'll always ask whatever spirit I'm communicating with if it needs to use energy. It can use energy off of one of those other devices, either the extra REM, because I have two laid out, and one is one color light, one is the other color light. I have a blue one and an orange one, and whatever one I'm like, you could drain the batteries from, let's say, the orange one. You could use it from that to help yourself get energy to answer. Or for the same thing for the mag lights, I have a blue mag light and I have a black mag light. I'll do the same thing. I'll ask it to drain one or the other so it can communicate easier.
There's also a matter of physics happening. The corpus quantus of these entities is more or less made of ionic radiation. So anytime they touch your electronics, they're going to be draining something, whether on purpose or on accident.
Almost also says, makes sense. How you get rid of it for good? Well, let's see. Well, let's all three go ahead and give her an answer. My personal opinion is to get a hold of a cleanser, somebody that can come in, do sage, and if the sage doesn't work, make sure they can do other things as well to make sure that the spirits are gone for good. Brandon.
I look at it as it depends on what kind of spirit it is. If it's a good spirit, like one that's not doing no harm, if you want it gone, you just normally can either ask it to leave, or you just tell them that you had enough and kind of stake your ground. Even if you have like a grumpy entity, because keep this in mind, when people pass on, it's more so like your personality. If you're a nice or good person now, you could still be the same way. But it's like if somebody does something wrong to you or your family or wherever you're living, it could turn you into a grumpy entity. And when you get turned into a grumpy entity, you might not want that. So with that, you definitely got to stick your ground in order to get rid of that grumpiness. Now, if it's anything more than just a grumpy entity, you had to go down the same route that Brian said. You would have to get it cleansed in order to get control back of your house and to have kind of like a fair playing field for yourself, to have that space back for yourself.
All right. You know what, Brandon? Me and you just started an issue, buddy. We got beef now.
Uh-oh.
Your answer was better than mine. I'm out of here.
That was going to say, if you don't like his answer.
You know, your answer just out times my answer by 10, dude. That was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Irene says, I cleanse with salt and prayers, but you have to claim back your home. Absolutely. Now, let's see the answer from the scientifical point of view here.
This is
Mr.
not a
I have
science
no
answer.
experience in the paranormal field.
Excuse me, I have 37 years experience in this field. I just don't do investigations. So my answer is going to sound a little crazy. You go to its home plane and whoop its ass in front of its mama.
Dude, that's not going to, if it's a spirit, you end up having to kill yourself, get into the spiritual world, go whoop that ass, and then how the hell you going to get back to a physical form?
All you've got to do is meditate properly. Your people have been doing this for literally thousands of years. What do you think shamans do?
Dude, I didn't even think about meditation. I'm sorry. I take back all my answers. You rock and I suck.
No. Thank you. You helped me find a better way to word what I'm trying to say. So thank you. Basically,
That's what I do.
what,
What I do.
and
And
you,
Gino says, that's good to know. Thanks. And can I also mention that I have something on my palm with my lifeline AI on my left hand? I don't know anything about that one.
I'm not into palmistry. Sorry.
And Irene says, yeah, right. How do you whoop a spirit's ass? Well, according to Cass, you meditate, you astral plane.
No,
And
it's not astral projection. That's a common mistake a lot of human psychics make. It is not astral projection. You can't do crap from the astral plane.
Whatever. I'm trying to answer a question. Hush up.
Sorry.
I guess you meditate, Irene, and you go into that plane and you take your ghostly glove, you slap that ghost in the face, and you say, I challenge you to a ghostly duel.
That's not terribly far from it. There's a concept in metaphysics called the light body. And once you can slip your consciousness to your light body, you can interact with these things a lot better. There's a reason I have a 100% success ratio on exorcisms.
Yeah, this dude over here, Cass, man, this guy knows stuff about our paranormal field and extraterrestrial field that he should have to have level 5 clearance to know, and he doesn't have shit beside the civilian side point of view.
I'm here to teach your species, my people's technology.
This dude is the genius of extraterrestrials, man. And Irene says, I do it my way. It's less evasive.
I agree, but you have to understand, people call me when these spirits are doing things like breaking bones. All right. People call me when shit has gone so far out of control, even the Vatican exorcists can't handle it.
Well, I'm going to be giving you a call about a demon I have in my room about 10:30 or 11. It's called a Grumpy Vader. But Brandon, the reason why I asked about the group page thing is what I want to. Oh, hang on. Dino says, Cass, I love you, bro. Sending love and light. Irene says, ooh. But the reason I was asking is I want to take your team along with Forget Me Not Paranormal, and they're another up-and-coming team. You know, I'm in the process of taking them under my wing and teaching them proper ways to do residentials and get their name out there, kind of like I did with you.
Yep.
And I want to take both of y'all's teams, and I want to go and make a post. And that post is going to say, hey, these are a couple new and upcoming teams. They got a lot of stuff coming up that's very interesting. Here are the links to their group pages and community pages. And if you join theirs, they'll join yours. You can post your stuff on their page as long as they can post their stuff on your page. and I'm a part of like 200 to 400 paranormal groups on Facebook
Oh,
from
wow.
around the world.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Nice job, Eric. Brian?
Thank you, I think. So what I'm pretty much offering to do is marketing and networking for your team. I want to get you guys more followers, more fans, and in order for me to do that, I need you to do me a small favor.
Absolutely.
What I need you to do is when you're at an investigation. Now, this is what the SGC did for years, and it works phenomenally. It keeps your group on their toes and your fans very interactive with you. What you do is you set up all your equipment. Now, I'm assuming you yourself probably run one of them cameras, right?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay, no more. You're going to pass your camera off to another team member. And what you're going to do is if you have the commercial business's permission to film in there, you're going to ask them if you can film live on Facebook as well. And what you do is instead of holding that camera, you go on Facebook into your group page. You announce a few days before when your investigation is, where it's going to be at, what time it's going to be, and let them know that you'll be going live via Facebook. And then at that time, you go live and you do your investigation. And here's why. Number one, you have a lot more eyes and ears than just you and your team. I have found that during our investigations, we have captured more evidence when going back over the footage on Facebook because the comments are in real time.
Right.
And when people say, hey, did you guys hear that? And then they'll say what it sounded like. You can now go back 5 or 10, 20 seconds and you can listen for that. Number two, it also comes with a group chat. So people can actually talk to you during the investigation. You know, did you guys see that? What was that noise? You know, blah, blah, blah. And it's a good way for you to interact with your fans and followers and be like, you know, hey, if there's any questions you want me to ask, you know, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll ask them. But for the most part, you know, you're showing your fans what you're seeing. It's like they're there at the investigation with you. And the more you do this, the more of them 990 some odd people are going to start being more active on your page. Because when we started doing this, we had about 2,000 people on our page, and about 5 or 10 of them were active and fans. But by the time we did our 4th or 5th episode recording it on Facebook Live, we probably had 500-600 of them, if not more, that were more active and more, you know, wanting to do stuff with us.
Oh, wow.
I've
only ever tried doing live once, and it was over at White Hill over in New Jersey, and I guess you said I felt like a little discouraged because there was only 3 people that viewed in out of that many people, and I was like, you know, so we did like the live maybe for a half hour, and at that point it was still at the same thing. There was like 3 or 4 people, and I was like, yeah, you know, like thank everybody for, you know, for that tuned into the live and, you know, was listening to stuff too. and watching watching over the investigation with us too, like kind of like being there with us, and that was pretty much about it. So it felt a little discouraging at that point.
Don't let it discourage you. That's actually a really good start.
Did you announce that you were going live from that investigation prior?
We only announced it maybe like a couple hours before we got to the location.
No,
so I didn't do
why,
like anything like ahead of time.
Yeah, that's why you only had 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
Because you do it a couple hours before, people aren't expecting it, people are already doing something else, and they don't know about it. Okay. Now, you post it a couple weeks in advance, and then post it a week in advance, and then post it 3 days in advance, 2 days in advance. Hey, tomorrow's the big day. Don't forget to tune in. And then you announce it, maybe 4 hours before the investigation, hey, we're going live tonight at such and such place. Make sure to tune in. You're going to get more interaction on there. Okay. But, starting out at 3 or 4, is actually, like Cass said, quite a good thing.
Oh, okay.
And you have to remember, that you have a lot of non-interacting fans right now.
Right.
And what you need
Nobody
to
wants
do
to call it crazy
is you need to start capturing their attention. And if they're not active, within a month, of you going live and, interacting every day with your fans, actually I'd give it 3 or 4 months, because how often do you guys investigate?
Normally about 1 time a month, just because my work schedule, I work almost every other weekend. So I get 2 weekends off. So I always do 1 weekend for investigating, and the other one is to, do stuff with family and to do stuff with the other half. So.
Okay. Also, is the other half into the paranormal?
She is. She actually just got into it more recently. Back in October was her first big investigation. We were over at the Sayer Mansion. So we helped out with a Halloween event that the place was holding, and pretty much they had us come out and investigate, and they had about 25, 30 people out there with us. And
now, do you have any children?
No.
Okay, here's my suggestion with this is you want to start getting more noticed with your fans. You want to get them to interact with you more. Start investigating every, you say you work 2 weekends every month, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so set a date, either for Friday or Saturday. Do you work Friday or Saturday when you get the weekends off?
I'm off on those days normally.
Okay, so it's Friday, Saturday, not Saturday, Sunday?
It's all 3 normally that I'm off.
Okay, so what you do is you schedule your 1 big investigation for the month, which would be like probably a Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what you do is the weekend you have off, you take Friday and Saturday, because I'm sure where you live, there's plenty of outdoor places you can investigate, right? Cemetery, parks, woods. Okay, so what you do is you find 2 big investigations. You do both Saturdays that you're off, and then you find like a cemetery to do or a new place to do on the Fridays. Because, if you think about it, you and your wife are both into the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And, your big investigations, you're going to want your whole team there, right?
Right.
But your littler investigations, like cemeteries and stuff like that, that could be just for you and the wife.
That's
You know,
true.
you get there early, you go out for some dinner, find a nice place in the cemetery to eat, spend a little time together, and then go live and investigate the shit out of it.
That's very true. That's
You
a
know,
good idea.
you get yourself between 2 and 4 investigations a month. You're going to pique your interest, your fans' interest again. Start posting in the group on a daily. And, you know, maybe even start doing raffles, you know, or contests.
Mhm.
You know, whoever can show me the most evidence from one of their investigations will win, you know, and then go out and buy like a little digital recorder, you know, a K2 meter off of Amazon, you know, and start doing that. Irene says, I am with DNTV in the UK, and how romantic, Brian, dinner in a cemetery. Well, see, Irene, the funny story to that is my wife was just pissed at me because the SGC was investigating anywhere from 4 to 5 nights a week. And we had shit tons of evidence to go over. And I had my daughter, who I hardly ever saw, or my wife. And I said, well, why don't we just find a babysitter for Pantera? Yes, that's my daughter's name, Pantera. Awesome, ain't it?
It is actually
Her
definitely
name's
different.
Pantera Rose, actually. And I said, why don't we find a babysitter for Pantera? And why don't me and you go get a bite to eat? Well, I had promised the fans an investigation that night. And the team's fucking exhausted. I mean, we've been busting our asses. So we go and grab a bite to eat, and I take her to the cemetery. And she says, what are we doing at the cemetery? Oh, nothing, honey. This isn't a coincidence. It's just a nice place to go eat. It's peaceful here. She bought it. And I was, all right, step 1 and 2 done. We get done eating, and she goes, why are we still hanging around? It's almost dark. Well, there's a second part to this date, honey. Oh, yeah? What's that? Well, I just kind of pulled your ass into a investigation. We're going live in an hour from the cemetery.
Don't do that to my wife, or it's your ass.
One side and down the other for about 58 minutes of that hour. And when the 2 minutes came up to be, I said, are you done? She goes, yeah. I said, good, we're going live. And we actually investigated. It was pretty cool at the end. She was like, you know, that was awesome. We got to spend some good quality time together. I was like, yeah, and I enjoyed it. So, back to what I wanted to do was Brian would make out under the headstones. Damn it, she's on to me.
She caught on, Brian.
She did. But I'm going to share your group and all the other paranormal groups. And I'm going to share your page as well and your YouTube channel. And I'm going to do the same for my boys and girls down in Forget Me Not. They're an autistic husband and wife team down in Fresno, and they're just amazing.
Yeah, they're cool.
And that kind of gets me to start thinking. You're 10 years experience. I'm a little over 8. What would you say that, when when I talked to them on Friday to give them their first taste of training, I call it quote unquote training, to help them out in the field. How would you feel about being a second pair of eyes and ears for opinions and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would be more than welcome to.
Do you work this Friday?
I do. I get off at 6.
You get off at 6. Okay. They want to do it from 4 to 5:30. But what I can do is I can bounce what I have written down off of you and see what you think and see if there's anything you want to add to it.
Okay.
And, maybe I can talk them into actually doing it after the podcast, which would be between 8:30 and 9 my time. Or wait a minute, you said 6 o'clock your time?
Yep, 6 o'clock my time.
So that would be 3 o'clock my time.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. So 4 o'clock my time is 7 o'clock your time. So 4 to 6:30 would be, let's see, 4. So it'd be 7 to 9:30 your time.
Yep.
All right. Would you be willing to do this?
Yeah.
All right. What we'll do then is me, you, and Cass. We're gonna meet up in the StreamYard meeting room with them, and we're just gonna go to town.
Sounds good.
Excellent. So, Brandon, with investigating, there always comes that one investigation that literally makes you shit your pants in fear. Have you hit that investigation yet? And if so, what was it?
I feel like Yoda. You will be.
I can't say I have yet. I don't think I got that scared or something happened that too crazy. I mean, like the most recent thing that's happened to me that caught me off guard was down at the Southern Mansion about almost a month ago. We were investigating the third floor, and I felt something pretty much touch me twice. Like the first time it made all the hairs on my body stand up. Then the second time it's like it was kind of like playing with my head. Like it was like lingering, like it was like playing with my hair for a while. But outside of that is, it didn't scare me, it just caught me off guard. Really no location really pushed me that far yet.
Nice.
Give it time.
Do
you have a plan in place for the day it happens?
Okay, I have to wake up. No, they're gone.
He's talking to you, Brandon.
Yeah.
I know their plan.
I mean, I believe there's going to be a day it is going to happen. I believe it. Because it has happened to everybody at some point. It really does.
Right. And
like any other profession. I'm not trying to call you out or make you look bad. It's just like any profession. That first time it really sinks into you what your responsibility is. It can be scary.
Right. I'll probably have to say, and again, too, this doesn't go to any of the business ones, but probably the most thing that's really ever scared me, like paranormal wise, was seeing it looks like a tall shadow figure. I say it kind of looks like it was like straight evil because it had red eyes, and it was coming like closer towards me out of an attic doorway. And it was my last stay at the place I was living at. And I was trying to get over like the whole entire thing of, I guess you could say kind of like, so like my bedroom was across from the attic door. So I always kind of had that little thing of I didn't like the attic at all. And I was like, I was like, it's the last night in the house. I've experienced something hanging from a doorway with his neck snapped. I experienced it sounded like somebody running up the steps. I always experienced feeling like you're being watched every time you go up the steps and down a hallway. So I was like, you know what? I was like, that stuff really didn't scare me too much. Except for the hanging one, because that was like at 3:00 in the morning, and I was back in high school, and I was like, what am I looking at? And it kind of was like moving like back and forth a little bit, and it was in the middle of a doorway. And I was like, there was no explanation for it except of it being there. So the last day moving out of that place, that's when I seen that shadow figure with his red eyes. I was making my last trip going down the steps with carrying my last box from my room. And it came walking closer. I kind of froze up and I had a cross on the door. And it's like it got to my bedroom door and then it just vanished. Like it was gone.
Was the cross made of silver by chance?
I'm sorry?
Was the cross made of silver by chance?
It probably was made of silver, but it was painted gold.
Gotcha.
Cass, it's not a vampire or a werewolf.
Silver disrupts many hyperdimensional entities, not just vampires and werewolves.
I think Irene figured it out here for you, Brandon. She says, Brandon, it might have been a sexy spirit who wants your energy. Ooh.
And side note, silver doesn't actually work on werewolves. That's actually a story left over from the incident at Gévaudan.
Dude, bullshit. Silver bullets kill werewolves.
Only in the movies, bro.
Dude, don't even start with me. You're full of shit. Silver will kill a werewolf. Look it up, dude.
Remember I said it.
Freaking alien.
That's true. I'm an outsider here. I really don't got much to say.
You know what? You're lucky Brandon's between us. Otherwise, I'd come over there and whoop that ass.
And you're big enough to do it, too.
Hey, I'm only 6'5" and 385. I'm not that big. And remember, round is a shape. Right, Brandon?
I agree 100%.
Would I get in trouble if I remembered that boulder scene from Indiana Jones?
Are you saying that I'm going to roll down a hill like a boulder?
I'm worried about it.
Fuck you, Cass.
I deserve that.
Yes, you do. So, Brandon, I honestly, in the entire 8+ years I've been doing this, I as well have only had one paranormal experience that scared me and one experience that was in a paranormal place that scared me. See, the first one that scared me was our first investigation. Now, when the shows first came out, Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures, most people were glued to the TV watching.
Yep.
See, I was a little different. From the experience I had as a kid, which we're going to get into that here in a few, I had the fascination so much that instead of watching the shows, I would take notes with the shows. Questions to ask, the do's, the don'ts, the this, the that. And I probably had a good 6 180-page notebooks on both front and back page, fully filled with information.
Oh, wow.
So when we jumped into our first investigation, I knew what to do in a sense of taking notes. And, I was training the other 3, but we were not ready for what we experienced in that house. The first thing is I laid down And I said, if there's anybody in here, come let me know. And the next thing I know, I feel this really heaviness on my chest. And I go to sit up, and it's like I can't move. This thing is sitting on my chest with its hand on my shoulders, and I can't sit up. And I'm freaking out. And finally, I'm able to sit up, and I continued on. Then we go into the room, the little girl's room, and I'm sitting in the chair, and all of a sudden my leg starts burning, and I pull up my shorts a little bit, and it looked like it had carved like two weird looking threes, and it actually scratched me hard enough to tear a chunk of skin out of my leg.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, flowers that were in the room, we go back in, they're on the floor destroyed. Teddy bears falling off the bed. And that was just in one investigation that I actually have the evidence of on YouTube. If you search Spokane Ghost Crew, it's called the J&R House. And you can actually check that investigation out for yourself. And it was pretty nasty, man. That place scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I'm sure almost everybody would have been in the same boat. Because
your first investigation, and you're getting pinned down and physically attacked and getting so mad in that house that you want to punch your fucking 120-pound fucking co-founder in the face. And it got so bad in that house.
Right.
That
it happened so fast too, by the sound of it.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, we would investigate every weekend for 6 months to find out exactly what was in that house. Because every time we went in that house, there was something new going on. And the couple that were in there just constantly fighting every day, fighting. And when we finally cleared that house, yes, we cleared that house. Me and my sister were Wiccan. So we were able to use a Ouija board, which I will never touch again.
Nope, that's one thing I don't ever touch. Those or dowsing rods.
And we kept getting the name Zozo. And Zozo is one of the most common demons, which I knew right then and there it was full of shit. There wasn't a demon in that house. There was a couple of dark spirits in that house, you're damn right. But when we started cleansing this house, there was a gatekeeper
and a keymaster.
Portal, and what this gatekeeper would do is he would allow these spirits through the portal, but wouldn't allow them back through.
Oh.
So by the time you cleanse this house, you have anywhere from 12 to 20 spirits that are trapped in this house that are extremely pissed off that they can't get back to where they were.
Right.
And so we start cleansing, and all of a sudden pictures on the walls start shaking. The whole house feels like it's shaking. You can hear moans and screams and yells, and dude, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. And we ultimately got it clean, and the fighting between the couple stops. The little girl getting tormented stops. but they end up getting kicked out of the house a couple months later, and the fighting starts all over again.
So did they say why they got kicked out of the house, or were they like renting it, or what was going on?
Yeah, they were renting the house at the time. Daisy, no, back up. And so a couple months later, I went and talked to the people that were renting the house, told them who I was, and that we had investigated the house, and I said, have you guys experienced anything? And they're like, no, we haven't experienced a single thing. House feels homely and normal.
So it sounds like the people have, if not one, but maybe multiple attachments to them.
Yeah.
Because if they're getting into that same factor of them moving out and they're still arguing with each other, it wasn't the house. It could be something attached onto one, if not both of them. Possible.
Well, you see, it was partially the house because of the gatekeeper and the portal.
Right.
But what I think is the constant fighting in that house from the other spirits, that somehow they, I guess you could say, contracted a gatekeeper who had the power to open a portal.
See, this is where knowing your classification
was already there, and a gatekeeper just happened to go through it.
Oh.
This is where knowing your spirits comes in handy, because the Zulians are an entire classification of spirits, and that's literally what they do.
Well, according to Irene, it's Brian 2 cast 0.
Well, Brian's more funny than me.
And Tiny said, oh no, I forgot, I know him very well. Paranormal Brew says, hey Brandon, hey ShadowZone boys.
Hey,
hello, Taryn, my dear.
Hey, Taryn.
So, Brandon, have you ever had the pleasure and opportunity of cleansing a house?
I have not, no.
Have you been there when a house is being cleansed?
No, I have not.
Oh, you just wait for that experience, buddy. It's fun. So, what initially got you to want to be a paranormal investigator, Brandon?
I guess you could say my first experience I've ever had was I was moving between the ages of 5 and 6. I remember being woken up by something tapping on my shoulder, and because me and my mom used to share the same room because I lived with my grandparents at the time, and my mom used to do that just to check on me to see if I was actually, I was still breathing and make sure I was all right. And I rolled over to look to see if anybody was there, and there was nobody there. And the light was still on and everything. So I went downstairs to go see where my mom was, and she was downstairs with my grandparents. So ever since that happened, it kind of put me back in that. It kind of put me in the mindset of believing that there's something else there. It was just over time that I wanted to do the paranormal investigations and actually try to get answers to what else is over there, after life, after we pass on and everything, and help out people that need help. Because not everybody knows how to deal with the stuff, and not everybody, feels comfortable with it.
Nah, it's more fun to just ask questions.
True.
So, how old are you now?
30.
You're 30. So 25 years ago, that would make it 22, 12, 02. So 1997.
Yep.
So 1997, it was acceptable to talk about the paranormal and everything. It just ceases to amaze me how much me and you have in common there, Brandon. Because my first experience was as well at the age of 5.
Oh, really?
We lived in a brick house on the west side of town. And like you, I shared a room. It wasn't with my mom because my dad would absolutely not have that unless he introduces me to Nightmare on Elm Street at 4 years old, and it scares the shit out of me. But I shared a room with my sister because it was a small house and, you know, we didn't have much money. Mm-hmm. So we would sleep in this room, and it had them doors that kind of fold open and closed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And these doors, they never fully closed. And here's the part that's going to trip you out, because you told me at 16 or 17, glowing red eyes.
Yeah, I was 19 when I experienced that. I was seeing glowing red eyes, and it was just coming like right towards me, closer and closer.
I will never understand why that scares your species.
Shut up, Cass. Well, at 5 years old, my closet door would never close fully. And at night, it would slowly open on its own. And there would be a glowing pair of red eyes in my closet. The first time I witnessed that, I screamed like a banshee. Me and my sister both did. Our parents come rushing in the room, turn the light on. We tell them what we see. They check the closet. There's nothing in there. There's no windows in the room that's going to cause these red lights or eyes in the closet. They turn the light off. About an hour and a half later, it happens again. And this continued to happen until we moved out of that house.
Oh, wow.
Excessive photons make it difficult to see hyperdimensional species.
Which sparked my interest in the paranormal. That, and I've always had the knack of helping people. You know, whether it be giving a homeless guy money for alcohol, or giving a homeless guy money for food, or seeing somebody, you know, struggling to carry something.
Or helping a little girl on the heart transplant.
That too. Or helping people in general. And, you know, one of my big thoughts when I started my team was, how many people are out there that need help with their paranormal?
I agree. From a different angle, but still.
Yeah, because I was in the same mindset, thinking that even back in high school, you know, I was thinking, you know, like how many people actually live and deal with it every day, you know, and, you know, they don't have anybody to really talk to or reach out to for help because they don't know where to turn or where to look.
They're afraid to sound crazy by asking for help.
You know, and there were teams in Spokane when we started. I mean, they were a dime a dozen here when I started, and a lot of them would charge money.
Yeah,
they were charging people between $100 and $300 per investigation, and then they would come and show them the evidence, and that's all they heard from them. Where's the help?
Right.
Congratulations, you just charged somebody $300 to come and prove to them exactly what they already know. Well, it was my mission, my goal, to knock all these boneheads that were charging people out of commission. So what we would do is I would spend hours researching, finding out these teams' former clients, if You catch my drift.
Yeah, I do.
Smart.
And I would go to these clients and I'd say, are you still experiencing activity? I know that such and such came in here, charged you, 150 to 300 for them to prove to you what you already know. Are you still experiencing this? Yeah, we're scared. We don't know what to do. All right. I'm going to schedule you for a consultation. We can do it right now or we can do it later. And then we're going to set up a date for us to come in. We're going to capture the evidence of what we need. We're going to present it back to you and we're going to help you. And that is exactly what the SGC was about.
Mm.
That's how we got such a good reputation, such a big reputation so fast. Is we didn't charge a dime. We were damn good at what we did. And we would help them get rid of their activity. And Cass.
Yeah.
Take over for a minute, buddy.
Sure, no problem. Okay, so yeah, no, I'm right there with him on that. I don't ever charge anyone anything. It's ridiculous. In my opinion, if somebody's charging, they're not for real.
Right, right. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, just the situation. You guys are going to be getting a lot more business as time goes on, and basically the situation cannot abide fakers. Lives are literally on the line. It's just, I know that the audience thinks it's funny to mock what I do, but one of the things that I was very concerned about is that none of you people in your profession ever catch anything vulgar, like really vulgar, and I think I'm starting to figure out why. And I think that we need a change in this field,
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example. One of the reasons why I got into doing these videos, there's an Australian woman who's being bothered by an incubus. There's actually a literally movie about her called The Entity. Okay. Now, over her life, she has employed many mediums and people who claimed they could help her with this, and they would charge her out the wang and then do nothing until finally she gave up. The problem is that more and more and more people are being attacked by incubi almost on the daily. And I've been wondering why you guys aren't catching this stuff. And I'm starting to figure it out. Basically, the people who are being accosted by very severe spirits don't contact investigators. We need to change that.
Yeah, we do because people shouldn't have to be paying anything to have people come out and help them.
Never.
The thing is, there's no fee to it. There's not. There's really not. And it's like they should be feeling comfortable reaching out to people that are actually in the field to help out, not just to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to charge you $100 or $300 because they're in it not for helping the person. They're in it to try to collect a buck. And it's like, like how you're saying, it's like it would be more nice if, if there was a lot more people that would reach out to people that can help them out instead of just giving up.
Well, more than being nice, it would set a new precedent on this planet. One of the issues that my people have with yours is that your mystics have had roughly 11,000 years to reteach your species what you lost at the fall of Atlantis, and all you've done is charge $39.95 for the secrets of Nirvana. So it's like, folks, we're at war. This is a very, very bloody, nasty war, and people like you are going to start seeing evidence of it pretty soon. Dreamwalkers are starting to come back from the various planes with broken bones, torn flesh, things. And the same thing with hauntings. These entities are getting more powerful, more and more powerful, and there's got to be a reason.
Right.
And even we don't know that. If we knew everything, we wouldn't be here.
Right. Correct. Right. But you learn about it though too, and and that's how you try to learn about it as much as you can, and you try to learn how to help out in the ways that you can with that while you're learning. Because like how you said, they are getting stronger. It's like some are getting stronger, some of them are getting, they could be getting out of hand. And it's like, you got to be prepared to, to help out in every way that you can. And you got to be, like how you said, there's going to be a battle, war, it's like you got to be prepared to help out and try to do what you can.
Yeah. See, a lot of the things that you guys have talked about there's incredible similarities with things you guys are discussing and alien abductees, and I never knew that before I started talking with people on this show. I wish I'd known a lot sooner. One of the things that we're trying to figure out, my people, is why your species seems to have forgotten that you're not helpless. It's the same thing in both alien abductions and like the situation that Brian described earlier. You guys don't seem to be aware that your brainwaves can hit like a hammer, and these entities go to very great lengths to make sure you don't figure that out. So it's just the situation is dire.
True. Very.
Or I'm taking it way too seriously. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I just go ahead and let fly with the alien thing. Essentially, after you've heard me talk, any other experiencers sound sane,
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody's having a problem, they talk and they talk to us. I'm sitting here, oh, look at me, I'm a cartoon character, ha 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 ha. But then the audience ends up finding more sympathy with the person and the experiencer, and they get what they need. You see what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Believe me, I'd rather not do this. I've effectively destroyed my chance of having a career on this planet, but it's necessary. Yeah, like I said, lots of similarities.
Yeah, definitely is.
So, what do you think about there's a thing that NASA has been talking about. The solar system has been moving into a very, very energy-rich section of the galaxy. And my theory is that the extra ion radiation is what's giving these entities more power. What do you think?
I agree with you. I do. Just because there's because of the change with like the solar system and everything, it's like, it's like, where's the energy coming from? It has to be coming from something. It really does. It has to be coming from something else. Because it can't be just coming from us, saying, oh, yeah, here's batteries, drain the batteries. It's like that doesn't do that kind of energy throw off. It just doesn't do it.
Yeah, it's a different type of energy.
Right. Because it's like, honestly, it's like, batteries are just little temporary things. It has to be something bigger. It has to be.
Yeah, I agree. What gets me is NASA is saying that apparently from what their math is, the planet passes into this field roughly every 10,000 years, and I'm wondering if that could be the explanation for the ebbing and flowing and waning of quote unquote magic, Because if you think about it, like the Greek heroes, right? Let's assume for a second that the Greek in Thios' honor, let's assume for a second that the Greek legends were real. I mean, essentially what you have here is Bronze Age savages looking at high-level beings and just trying to describe it, So in the case of say, for example, Perseus, was it really a horse with wings? Or maybe did these people see something that could not exist today simply because there's not enough nutritious energy in the air?
True. Very true. Or or people might have just, described something and they thought what it looks like. And I don't know. Some people could use like their imagination and they could be like, oh yeah, this is what it looks like. But it's like in all reality, it might not even look like that. Like it might look like, it could look like a dragon. Like for all we know, we don't know what it looked like. It could be anything.
We don't. And and what if, and then building on that point, what if what these people were seeing was, like you said, just their imagination?
Right.
I think it's these questions are why all cultures have to sort of band together, and that includes visitors, folks. If they knew everything, they wouldn't be coming here. So don't ever let them fool you. We get a lot of abductees where the aliens will be like, I am your god, and then we have to go in and it's just nasty. But and we get the same thing with spirits, like hauntings and stuff. They'll say, I am the ghost of Samuel Errol. Boogie. Sorry, I love the Muppets.
You're good.
So it's like you never know, and like Ouija boards, these guys could be saying anything that
Right.
are So like he mentioned Zozo, and he's right. Zozo is the most common name given by entities that are contacted through Ouija boards. It's Zozo, Zuzu, and Zaza. Now you cross-reference that with probably the most famous haunting in the world, which would be the Amityville haunting, and you get some pretty interesting results. So would you agree that it is time for everybody to put their differences aside and just start sharing fucking information?
Yes, I agree. I agree
Cool.
100%.
Cool.
I do, because there's a whole lot more to, to us, like to life, than just one thing. There's a whole lot more. There's more out there than we know about. Like how you said before, we don't know everything. We know everything. If we did, then then there would be really no point of having a discussion about it, or brainstorming or having any sort of conversation about it, because it would already be in your mind, and you already know every single answer.
Yeah. Tayo says he life is but a dream. I agree with that. You raised unicorns and wore unicorns. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Given this is going to sound a little crazy, are you talking about a past life or in the dreamscape? I'm wondering, bro, Tyus.
Oh, okay. I'm talking like in like the past life.
Right. So you believe in reincarnation?
I do, to an extent, just because I think of it being like a reincarnation, because like, what if, like what you did in your life before, what if you didn't follow it all the way through? Let's say you got part way doing what you wanted to do, and for some reason you just, like that part of your life died. Like you just died in that life.
Right.
So you get another chance to finish doing what you were doing before, in whatever route it is, whether it's helping somebody, whether it's, let's say if there was somebody that was doing something vindictive, then, then they could have the chance to do their vindictiveness even more, which is insane, but, everybody's different. So.
And quite frankly, and people don't like it when I say this, but there is no path that's invalid. You could be the evil guy on the planet. That could very well be just your path. It's
Right.
uncomfortable to think of, but.
How about you? Do you believe in the reincarnation, or?
Again, I know you guys don't believe me, and it's completely okay not to believe me, but my people have this stuff down to literally a science. I have been teaching humans how to access the various planes for more than 20 years, and a lot of the humans that are out there, like working in hospitals as quantum healers, are actually my students. So for us, this isn't spirituality. For us, this is science. We have to find our spirituality in other things.
Makes sense.
So, but I mean, you guys, your people are already onto this. I mean, even 500-year-old dead guy Newton understood that energy does not get destroyed. Right. So even your science understands you never die. No. All you really do is experience a sort of transmutation. And quite frankly, the technology is really right around the corner to be able to assist people, like you guys were mentioning earlier, the med beds. Or maybe a different show. I do a lot of shows. But so it a lot of the things that humans consider as spirituality are actually physics, and you guys can see the proof in this. Ask yourself, 150 years ago, did they know about atoms? No.
Right.
20 years ago, the line was, someday science will get to the point where we can see an atom, but it will never happen in any of our lifetimes. Oh, wait. Oh, now we can look at atoms with electron microscopes. So what if things like spirituality are literally just misunderstood science? Atomic flows, ionic spheres. That's a role-playing game term. But, things like that, What if what you guys think of as magic is just science? I think it was Richard Campbell who said that any sufficiently advanced science is indistinguishable from magic. The thing is, the exact opposite is also true. Any sufficiently analyzed magic is indistinguishable from science. So our technology looks very much like magic to humans. Okay, it looks like bang. It doesn't work that way. You know, what we're doing is very, very, very physics based. You know, that being said, one of the issues that cultures tend to have as you get higher in technological level is you tend to lose track of your soul. What that means is you tend to lose track of the things that require faith to see. You know, so here on the planet, it requires faith to believe in incarnation and the consciousness cycle.
Mhm.
Where I'm from, it's such an incredible level of technology that we learned to use it in kindergarten or the equivalent thereof. Death has no meaning out there because it's literally just a minor inconvenience. Once you can understand your own brainwaves, you can remember all your incarnations and you realize you never died. You never really died. You know, maybe this time you like sports games instead of fighting games, but you're still the same guy.
Right.
With that being said, Irene says, in Japan, if you have constant quarrel with you as a couple, you invite the negative energy and you have to stop feeding it. And she lived in a haunted suicide condo for 20 plus years. And I was being harassed by spirits every 6 years. I didn't know what to do then. I heard spirits telling me to kill myself. So I had to pretend I couldn't hear them till we moved out. Damn.
Did they come in 6-year cycles? That's weird.
So, Brandon.
Yes.
So, you had your first experience when you were 5. You started investigating when you were 19. You ran 2 teams. The Light Within Paranormal is a year old. You know, you're out for helping people with their paranormal activity. Obviously, you believe in practicing para-unity and not preaching it.
Mm-hmm.
You believe in standing united with other paranormal teams. You know, me and you, man, brother. We should be on the same side, man. We should be on the same team.
I agree.
So with Global, we're next year going to be filming, going on the road to film for our show that we're trying to put together now. And so we're going from Arizona to Illinois to pick up Kennedy from Haunted Times Paranormal or Spooky Trio Paranormal. She has 2 teams, one solo and one's with her 2 best friends. It's either that or she's going to meet us in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
At Gettysburg. And I would like to formally invite you and your team to meet us in Pittsburgh, as we will be doing Gettysburg. We will be doing Pennhurst, and then we're going to shoot down, and we're going to hit we're hitting Tennessee, we're hitting Kentucky, we're hitting West Virginia, North Carolina, we're hitting Indiana. Yeah, we're going pretty much to all these different places, and I'll get you the list.
Okay.
But we're hitting all these different places, ultimately on our way back to Arizona. You know, and it's going to be about a 3 to month and a half long trip,
which would be awesome.
And you know, we're going to be filming for our show as well, which we're going to be putting on a couple of different networks. You know, we're not letting the networks be known at this time, as to not get any hopes up for anybody. But I think it would be good to get your team featured with us on that.
I agree with you. I definitely do. And thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. And with no kids, I mean, what better way to go than to take, some time off of work and spend a haunted, re-honeymoon with the wife by going to majorly haunted and not yet proven haunted locations across the U.S.
That would be awesome. It really would be.
I agree.
And Irene says, Cass, I don't know, but every time we try to stop them, they would stay away and come back with more vengeance and more energy or more angry. I have a picture of my old condo if you want to see it. There are several portals. Send me a friend request and I will share my condo with you.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm Cassidy Lightwing on Facebook. I'm the only Cassidy Lightwing. Thank you, because that's really weird. If they're coming back every 6 years, there's a reason why, and I don't know what it is. So let's find out.
So Brandon, what state is the Conjuring House in?
That's up in Rhode Island. And last thing I heard was they were in the process of selling it. So I don't know if they're still doing investigations, because I looked near the middle to the tail end of last year to try to book something for this year. And right as soon as I was about to start booking something, I seen that they were posting it up for sale. So I don't know if they stopped or if they booked up that much.
Well, how would you feel about Randolph Infirmary and Asylum?
Oh, I definitely want to go there.
How would you feel about Trans-Allegheny?
Same. I definitely that's on my bucket list of places that I would really want to go to.
Waverly?
Waverly is on that bucket list as well.
Exorcist House?
I've actually never heard of that one before.
The Exorcist House?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll get you some info on that one. What about the Vicella?
The Axe Murder House?
Yeah.
Yep.
See how fast he answered that tells me I should know these things.
What about
cigarettes?
Yeah. What about let's see, Asylum 49?
Are you going to, or did you?
I haven't heard of that one either, though. That Asylum 49, I haven't heard of that one before.
What about Old Idaho State Penitentiary?
Yes, I
What
heard of
about
that one.
the Old Montana State Pen?
Thank you.
I've heard of that one.
well. Yeah,
I've heard of that one.
Okay. And what about St. Ignatius Hospital?
I've heard of that one.
Well, these are just a few of the stops that we're going to be making.
Oh, wow.
So, what's your interest in the Conjuring House?
Who, me
Mine?
or Brian?
You guys, investigators in general. I mean, I know why my father brought me there, but why you guys?
Honestly, I wanted to go up there because I wanted to get like the experience of actually being up at that house. More so because obviously, when something gets filmed in Hollywood, it gets blown out of proportion at times. Like Hollywood can blow everything out of proportion.
Yes,
So,
fire in the sky.
Yep. Absolutely, because everything for them is money and ratings and fans and everything of that sort. So I wanted to see what the whole big difference was in between the layout of the house, that the history of the house, all that kind of stuff, and the owners that actually still own it, because I don't know if it's sold yet, but they went over a good amount of the history over the location when we got up there. And the house is completely different than like any Hollywood layout for a house. It's an old farm. Well, it's an older farmhouse. They have your dining room, your kitchen, your living room downstairs on the floor, on the first floor, and then it's like they call it their command center, because they actually have somebody stay in like that command center area while you're there investigating. And they have a bed and everything in that command center. They have a bed, a kitchen, a bathroom. They have all that stuff in that area. So pretty much they just only hang out in there while you're investigating and you're there for the night. but I was told that used to be a woodshed, I think. So they converted a woodshed into another little living room area, and then they have the 3 bedrooms upstairs, and that's it. So I wanted to really see how different it was overall, and wanted to get like the real history on the location, and and why Hollywood decided to pick that location out of every other location in the whole country or the whole world to pretty much want to just pick that one just to blow it up that bad.
Well, and you see the beauty of meeting other paranormal teams and doing investigations and everything. You don't meet investigators like us every day.
Right.
Most investigators are, my evidence is secret, or my evidence is the best out there, or my team is the best, or we don't work with anybody else, or this, that, or the other. But to meet investigators and teams like us that are willing to work with other teams, that are willing to help the smaller teams, that is the groups that we need to get together.
Right. I agree.
Like
100%.
a grassroots thing.
I agree 100%. I do.
Because when we do this trip, like I said, we've got Harder Times Paranormal from Indiana. I don't know why I said Illinois. I meant Indiana.
That's one of those ice states. They're right next door to each other.
Right. We've got MJC, who is a one-man show. He doesn't really do residentials as he does more abandoned places and commercials. So his heart's in the right place.
Right.
That's better than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be working with Bad to the Bone in Kentucky. We'll be working with Travelers in Tennessee. It's a possibility we're going to be working with the Wraith Chasers.
Oh, wow.
Every state that we're going to, I am going to get a team from that state on my podcast, and I will find a team that is like-minded like us, and we're going to investigate with every team or a team in every state of this road trip.
You forgot my team, broski. You forgot my team. But then again, you're going to love it. You know what the name of my team is? We are called the Ordo Pantera. I thought when I found out your daughter's name, I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait for the right time to tell him.
So, what does Light Within Paranormal fans and followers, and now the podcast, what do people have to look forward to in the future with you guys? And before you answer that, let me read this comment from Irene real quick. What do you think about paranormal videos like ours in our country that are taken in different places here in Japan that are very dangerous to watch, and the people who were so interested in viewing them had to be hospitalized for an unknown illness and have died? Certain areas are dangerous, and they have gone there and either died the next day or they don't come out. We have several locations like that here, and you need permission from the police to venture out, and very professional to E.
If I can jump in on there, she's actually 100% right, and I can verify that because, quite frankly, our team has permission to go into these places. We've actually been asked to investigate, and if we can, clear out whatever's wrong in a lot of these places. The kami of Japan are furious. I guess you got to be Shinto to understand that. The nature spirit. Okay, first off, understand something. I'm not just an alien. I'm also a Native American shaman. That's my primary function. Okay,
He's a little bit of everything.
True. You kind of have to be in this world.
He's a real special needs type of guy.
Oh yeah, back of the bus all the way. But basically, the kami are a classification of spirit which are native to this planet, but not native to this plane of existence. Does that make sense? They're a form of divine, and a kami can inhabit pretty much anything, although they'll usually inhabit a body of water or something. The kami are vital to the spiritual health of Japan, and they are very, very angry. Very angry.
So, Brand,
and it's all over the world.
My question to you is, buddy, is if we had the chance to go to Japan, would you be interested?
I knew she was Shinto.
Absolutely.
Take that.
Sorry.
You want to go round and round? Huh? You want to ride the lightning? We can kill them all.
One step ahead of the bread line, one swing ahead of the sword. I sing only what I can afford. That's everything. Don't do this to me.
Sorry, every podcast I've had him on, if you start mentioning song titles, eventually he'll sing to one of them. And it's freaking hilarious.
You see me grab my face a couple times? That's because you guys said something. I was like, la 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 la.
So Irene says that she is a Shintoist too, and her house is always open for us. Well, it sounds like we're making a trip to Japan sometime in the next year or two, boys.
We are on.
Sounds good.
Irene, I'm going to tell you 2 places I want to go, and that's the Suicide Waterfall and the Suicide Forest.
Yeah, same here. A lot of people will say we're foolish for wanting to investigate that kind of thing, but the fact is, the more you get exposed to these entities, the more inoculated you are to the harmful effects of their radiation, the more dangerous places you can go safely.
Exactly.
And you guys have been at this for 10 years, so I would think your bodies are ready.
Now, what did I ask you, Brandon? Since Jabberjaws over here went off on his rant.
You were at before the whole entire Japan thing, or
No, it was before that. Oh yeah, what do fans have to look forward to in the future with Light Within Paranormal?
all right. So the things fans have to look forward to is we have several investigations coming up. We're actually going to be at Booby's Brewery in about 3 weeks. We're going to be there with another team. They actually invited us to come out with them as part of like the Para-Unity because we do the same thing with them. We invite them to come out with us, and it goes vice versa because of them being another Pennsylvania team. We are going to be going to the Clifton Theater. I'm shooting for possibly April or May. There's a date that's going to be coming up in the near future for that. We're also going to be doing a haunted historical location. That again, I can't say too much information because it's somebody's personal house that they kind of have the control over. So I don't want to give out that much information about that. But if they give the okay for me to say that kind of information live, I will definitely post about that.
Definitely do not ever give out clients' information like names or anything like that unless you have their permission.
Correct. But I can say though it is a historical location. That's all I'm going to say. And we're looking forward to it, to helping them out and to, getting everything all evidence-wise for them to try to see what's there. We also have we're going to West Virginia Penitentiary in June. So, and again, that falls into the para-unity because with the group, with there being only a couple of us going out from the team, we're going out there with another Pennsylvania team as well. So
nice. And would you care to mention which all teams you're working with?
yeah, absolutely.
The para-unity.
Yeah, absolutely. We work with Dixieland Mystical Society. They're located outside of Philadelphia, and we work with John Nix Paranormal. They are from the Lancaster area. They actually have a sister branch over in New Jersey that is called John Nix Paranormal New Jersey Team. So they have two teams going. So, and
right
those
on.
are, yeah. So those are three teams that we do a lot of stuff with outside of just individuals.
What I would like you to do is I would like you to give me a list of all the teams that you work with.
Okay.
And I would like to give them a personal invite to come on the podcast.
Okay.
And,
I can definitely do that for you.
You know, if they're like us, then I would definitely like to get them in the Global United program.
Absolutely.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to say to our fans and followers before we end the podcast?
Thank you, everybody who tuned in and who listened to the podcast. Please don't forget to follow us. We also have a group page on Facebook too. It's like Within the Paranormal. You can find the page or the group. You can also add me on Facebook as well. My name is Brandon Schuster. OSA founder and lead investigator for Light Within the Paranormal on my page.
Perfect. And don't forget your YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel is Light Within the Paranormal. I actually just put it up a couple of days ago, so we're working on putting up a video to start up. So
okay, so if people can't find you, that's not their fault.
Right, correct.
Cool. Well, no. YouTube pages can take a while to propagate. There's just nobody's fault.
All right, Brandon, I'm going to go ahead and throw you backstage. Please don't go anywhere because there's a couple of things personally I'd like to talk to you about before we part ways.
Sounds good.
Just give me a couple seconds to end the show.
Okay, sounds good, Brian.
All right. Cass, you're an ugly son of a bitch.
I know, right?
So what'd you think about Brandon, man?
I like him. And quite frankly, the thing that makes me respect him is he has the balls to say, I don't know when you don't know. A lot of people don't do that. Visitors included, by the way.
And, you know, I know he's backstage listening. And Brandon, congratulations, sir. You may not have been our highest viewed video, but for hearts and likes and all that, you are our highest person to ever get 8 of those. So that's something to be proud of, buddy.
Yeah.
So Cass, let me ask you a question.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You gonna be here Friday?
I'm gonna try. It really all depends on what happens with Shar. It's a damn thing because basically I can't stop working or the situation will get worse, but at the same time, so, you know, I'll be here if I can. Today's situation ended well, thank God, but if there's another scare like that on Friday, I don't know.
Fair enough, brother. Well, guys, we very much appreciate you coming on to the podcast tonight. We hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to come back Friday and Saturday as we have ShadowZone Paratalk on Friday and a free-for-all on Saturday. And tonight was Paratalk Worldwide. And Irene says we have to get blessed first at my mom's family Shinto shrine. And love and light to everyone. Well, love and light to you too, Irene. I will be sending you a friend request, and we will definitely be working together real soon.
And don't worry, Irene. This might not make much sense outside of the Shinto, but there's no need. I'm a very, very low-born spirit. There's no need to cleanse your. There's no need.
Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you like our content. And for everybody that shares us out, please send me a message on Messenger under Brian James. Let me know who you sent us out to. And when those people come and like and subscribe and watch our podcast, I will either bring you on the podcast personally or give you one hell of a shout out. And before we close, ShadowZone Paranormal Podcast and Global United Paranormal Foundation is sponsored by Ghost Energy Drink. If you're a paranormal investigator and you're tired in an investigation, just grab yourself a ghost and recharge that spiritual energy. Why wait? And also, don't forget to go to Parapost Network. You can join their group on Facebook, but definitely go to the Play Store, download the app. It works for Android, Apple, iOS. You can get it on tablets, laptops, and computers. And it is a paradise for paranormal investigators. You can watch investigations. You can watch podcasts. You can link your YouTube to your Parapost account. And it's a Facebook meets YouTube-like atmosphere. And all I can say is come be with your like-minded paranormal family because it's drama-free. And also don't forget that if you can't download the app, you can go to parapost.net to start your account today. Well, brother, I will see you in the back. And for all you boils and ghouls out there, have a ghoulishly good night and a hauntingly good day. We'll see you Friday night on Shadow Zone Talk. Have a good night, y'all. Peace out.